True Warrior Football. True Warrior Football. True Warrior Football.
You are listening to True Warrior Football Podcast with your host, Corey Kid Smith.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Man, it's tough. It is absolutely tough right now. We didn't finish, to put it mildly. We had such a great start to the game last week against Lawrence North. On the road at their place, we knew it was going to be tough, and Lawrence North is a very, very tough team. They're well coached. They have great players, and I'll get into the players in a moment, but man, we were there. We were right there, but we just didn't finish. Because, I hate saying this, we got killed. We got killed by one thing and one thing only. Speed. Speed killed us. At the end of the day, that's what in my eyes, that's what I saw. They had faster guys than we did, and we could not do anything against it. Xavier Moore and Prather, their quarterback, Darian Prather, I think. Darian Prather, just killed us. Absolutely killed us. The two of them had like 400 plus yards rushing on the night. We could not, when they got an open field, it was tough, especially late, third and fourth quarters. It was we couldn't do anything. And, I hate feeling like I'm just bewildered, because last year I warned our team. I said, guys, we got to get faster. We have to get faster. Another thing, it won't help us for this season, unfortunately. It unfortunately will not help us for this season. But we have to get better in the off season when it comes to this aspect. Speed kills. Speed absolutely kills. And you say, well, Corey, what are you talking about? We have to get more of our guys playing track. We have to get more of our guys faster. And there's nothing we can do about it this year. But moving forward, we have to put an emphasis on getting maybe not all of our guys, but definitely our key skill position guys that we look for to be playmakers, X factors. We have to get them competing in track and field in the off season. I just can't. I can't stress this anymore, because look at this right here. LN running back Xavier Moore. This is his touchdown. First rushing touchdown the defense has given up all season. Over 200, almost 300 minutes of game time. We haven't given up a rushing touchdown. And then we face LN on their second possession, and Xavier Moore right here. I'm going to keep playing this play back and forth until you see. This is not sped up. This is real time. This man is a track star for LN. I have his numbers right here. I mean, he is outrunning all of our guys. And our guys, we have a pretty fast defense. But this right here is ridiculous. Like, he was their X factor. And he only had that one score. But that one score was spectacular. And it didn't happen. Or it didn't happen enough. See, LN won track in state last year. Finished second in the MIC, ended up winning track in the entire state. And they had the state winning 4x1 team. Okay? Xavier Moore was their 5th fastest runner. He was not a part of their 4x1 team. If he had been at Warren, he'd be by far Warren's fastest player. You know, this is a Warren team in track that finished with, I think, 2 points total. I think that's one of the lowest track totals at state that Warren has ever had or has had in the last 2 decades. We have to get something fixed. We have to get something fixed. Football and track have to work better in getting football guys playing track, track guys playing football. We have to get better at it because that's unacceptable. We had football guys playing last year. Chaz Corley, Eric Hester played. But when you're a senior, it is too late for us. It's too late. We need guys that are freshmen, sophomores, and juniors playing track. Key players playing track. The speed from Xavier Moore, Moshawn Sales. And really, Sales didn't even kill us. Like, he had the 1 touchdown. I think it probably should have been called for a PI. But I don't think he had a catch in the second half. If he did, he probably had 1. But Prather and I'm putting their numbers, Prather and Moore, I'm putting their numbers up right here. And I warned about Sales and about Moore, and I completely just overlooked the quarterback because I'm thinking, hey, it's the Moore and Sales show. No, it's all 3 of them. Darian Prather was out there every bit of when he wasn't handing the ball off to Sale, when he wasn't handing the ball off to Moore, he was every bit of Lamar Jackson guy. Every bit of it. I still can't believe it. To be up 42-21 at half. Granted, the game is still 0-0 coming out of halftime. That is our mentality. That's what everybody's mentality needs to be when you're up in a lead like that. Because things happen. Comebacks happen. And Coach Whitaker and his staff, they knew what they had to do. And they went in there and Coach Whitaker said, hey, we're not going to stop. We're not going to take our foot off the gas. We're going to keep going after these guys. And they're right there. And I know that's what we wanted to do. The problem was LN was not going to allow us to get our run established. We did not have Keon Thomas in this game. And I hate saying that because I feel like it's an excuse. Oh, Warren has excuses for why they... Well, listen here, all right? When you have your star running back, all right, who's probably rushed for 400 or 500 yards on this season. I don't know his full stats, but he's accounted for literally half of our touchdowns rushing the ball. Okay, he has a receiving touchdowns as well, but literally half of the touchdowns scored total for the team. He has half of them. And when he's out, and he's been as great of a running back that he's been this year, so far this season, we don't have him for the entire game because he got knocked out with a concussion last week against Pike, or the previous week against Pike. So we don't have him. So I had to give it up to Dawson and Bell. They came out there and gave it their all, and Dawson got in the end zone. I think Dawson scored the first touchdown of the night. They had their plays, their run plays that were able to get in there and do some great things and contribute and do good, and I was glad to see that. But it wasn't going to be what was going. Ellen was not going to let those 2 guys beat them. No way. They were going. And Jack Quillen is not. He wears number 7, but he ain't Desmond Tardy. Not at all. He's not going to take off from the ball. That's not happening from Jack Quillen. Ellen knew we're going to shut down the run. We're going to stack the box. Anytime we can, we're sending the blitz. We're getting in the backfield. They're going to cause as much mayhem as chaos for our offense as possibly can. And the second half, it worked. First half, it didn't matter. Jack Quillen was Peyton Manning in that first half. Like, the plays, I mean, these pass plays to Zach Wallace, pass play to my guy, Mikael Tanner, Keyshawn Williams, Jarrett, there's absolutely beautiful passing plays. It was magnificent. 5 touchdown passes in the first half. I had not seen Warren have a passing game like that against LN since like Kyle Fonts in like 2011, where he went like, I think it was like 12 for 12, 5 touchdowns, something like that. The biggest passing game we've had overall since Jaden George's, I think it was like a week 3, week 4 game against North Central in 2018. He had like 429 and 7 touchdowns passing. This is the best passing game we've had since then, and probably I would say it's a bigger passing game than both of those games, really, because of the stakes. I mean, this was at LN on the road for the MIC championship, a MIC championship that we've been desperately trying to win again since 2019. And a MIC championship we would have won outright for the first time since 2018. And we were right there. Forced a fumble. We had an interception. We forced another fumble on a kickoff. We did all that in the first half and then forced them to turn the ball over on downs as well. That's 4 stops we had right there. 4 possessions that we stole. And I want to say we scored on every single one of those possessions. Or at least 3 of the turnovers that we forced, we scored on all 3 of them. It was as perfect of a first half you could possibly want. Second half, defense, we just could not get stops. We forced 1 punt. We forced 1 punt in the second half, and that was it. LN got touchdown after touchdown after touchdown, and I hate that. I absolutely hate that, because then you think about everything that we could have done in the second half. Like I said, some people, and I've gotten some crazy messages in my inbox. I'm going to address those. Matter of fact, here's what I'm going to say. People say, oh, Warren's up 42-21. They should never lose a game like that. Well, like I said, we didn't have Keon Thomas. Okay, so when you lose your star running back, and people are like, oh, well, this is Warren Central, they should always have another back ready. Yes, granted, that would be key, that would be ideal, but you're thinking about what was and what is now reality. We have good backs. Like I said, Dawson and Bell came in, got some good runs for us. They aren't the level and quality of drop-off is noticeable. All right? Anybody that watched film coming into that game knew that if Keon Thomas is not in the game, Warren is going to struggle running the ball. Flat out. And my biggest worry at the start of the season was what happens when teams know that the best way to take care of Warren is to eliminate the run game, eliminate Keon Thomas. I had that issue, I had that worry against Center Grove after Center Grove game, because basically Center Grove just shut him out, got 1 touchdown, but after that had not been a problem. We've been good. Then the second half of Pike happened. He gets out 3rd, 4th quarter, whatever it was. We struggled. We saw what happened there. We didn't get any points in the second half until the overtime. This week, we got the points, but when we needed to just really punch it, really drive those yards in, we didn't have those guys. Like I said, people think, oh, well, this is Warren, you guys next man up mentality. Look, all right, the days of you rolling out Mark Bonds, and then you had an Aaron Lacy behind him, or you had a Josh Bailey behind him, or, okay, you had Darren Evans, and then you had a Jewel Hampton behind him. And then when you didn't have Darren Evans, you had Jewel, you had Eric Williams or George Cheeseborough, all right? You go from a guy like Deontay Buckley to Anthony Davis, or Deontay Buckley to Dominic McFarland. All right, I'm naming old school running backs here. Guys that were great. Guys that were, next man up where the drop-off was good. Deontay Buckley comes out of the 2011 game against Ben Davis. Who steps up? Shaquille Breeding has a phenomenal game. We go on to win the game, all right? That's not always the case. And unfortunately, that's where we were. So, offense, they can't establish the run. We can't really get the pass plays that we need. So, we punt. Ben Davis. LN comes down, they get a touchdown, and then we have ourselves the game. Back and forth, and I'm sitting here live tweeting during the game like, all right, we just got to get one stop here. We just got to get continue this drive, get a first down, keep it going. And then it was, I think, when we threw the interception. I can't remember how we jacked through an interception here. It was just like second interception of the season, first since the Ben Davis game. He's been really great all year. It happens. I can't remember if his hands hit or whatever. Sets them up. They go down, score. I want to say they tied the game up. It was at that point where I was like, okay, now we are really... It was tough then, now it's really getting tough. And then it's the Xavier Moore show in the fourth quarter. And man, I've seen some guys have great games against us before. This guy right here, he may take the cake. I mean, I was there. I've seen J.B. Paxton for Center Grove have an amazing game against us. I've seen 2 or 3 guys in the East St. Louis game in 2005 have an amazing game for us. The quarterback for LN in 2005 had an amazing game against us. I saw, what was that guy's name? Roberson have an amazing game against us in 2010. Jeremiah Love, who's now at Notre Dame. When we faced him at Christian Brothers in 2022, in 2022, he had a phenomenal game against us. He was tough then, he's tough now. And what I saw from Xavier Moore, this dude is, I keep trying to think of a comp. Like I said, their quarterback, Prather, was like Lamar Jackson. Okay. Xavier Moore, I want to say he was like Darren Sproles, but smaller, quicker, faster. This super shifty. He makes moves and cuts like no other. He's behind his blocks perfectly. So perfect. He's so short and tiny. It's like, and then when he gets in open field, he's gone. You're not catching him. You're not catching this man. Like, look at these plays here, guys. Like, I'm telling you, when he's out in open field, you're not catching him. Reminded me of a mix between 3 guys: J. Cole, Ramir Elliott, and Shakir Bell. That's probably, he's like all 3 of those guys combined. Don't know how. Look, he just made so many plays. Just, it is what it is. It is what it is. And I hated that we didn't have one guy on defense because of injury. We didn't have another guy on defense that would have helped us out a lot because of another situation that happened to him earlier in the week. So you add in those 2 guys on defense, which would have been a huge factor for us. Didn't have Keon Thomas. That's 3 key players I feel like would have changed this game completely. I would have loved, and that's the thing, you know, you hate being in these type of games and not having all your guys. Because then it's like, oh, would this have happened still if he was here? Like, I mean, people, Indiana Pacers, all right? You see a guy like Tyrese Halliburton going crazy in the first quarter. First 4 or 5 minutes of the game, he's hitting everything. Then he goes down with an injury in Game 7. He's out. He's done. Season's over. You don't win the title. It sucks. You like to always have your guys in these big games, these big moments. And unfortunately, that's not always the case. And so I know a lot of people were upset. There were a lot of people saying, oh, what in the world happened? How could Warren do it? Guys, look, all right. These guys over there, they're well coached. They're tough. There's a reason why they've won, what is it? They've lost 2 games in 2 years. Lost to, was it regional, to Brownsburg, and they've lost to Fishers this year. I have no clue how Fishers held them to 31 points or to 28 points. No clue whatsoever. they were just either they were drunk that game, LN was, and just didn't show up for half the game or what. But I have no clue how they held them to 28 points. None whatsoever. We did what we could. The touchdown to Zach Wallace, his third touchdown of the night, Jack Quillen's 6 was phenomenal. Got us back there in the game. It was 49-48. And people were saying, why would Warren go for 2? I don't understand why they would go for 2. Here's the reason why you go for 2. All right. We could not stop them. We had to give ourselves an edge, a little bit of an edge. And this has happened in football before. In 2004, Center Grove goes for 2. In our game against them, it was 49-48 the other way. They go for 2, get it. They ended up winning 50-49. All right. It could have been the same way for us. We just need a little bit of edge. I feel like we could have got it. This play right here, the 2-point conversion play, I did not mind this play. I thought it was great. The problem was LN drags 2 of our guys down in the end zone. And people are like, oh, well, no, this is clear, blatant PI. There's 2 referees there. Neither one of them call anything. Blatant PI. Blatant PI. That's absolutely terrible. And I don't want to say I'm cheating. You can't call out the refs when you guys didn't get a touchdown against you guys last week against Pike. Look, if we're not going to call fouls when they're fouls, then what are you there for? All right. Also, another game where a team went for 2 and it ended up winning the game when it was close. Center Grove versus Avon, and I think it was 2015. Avon had Brandon Peters, who would go on to be Mr. Football winner at quarterback, and he was killing those guys. And Center Grove went for 2 late and got it and ended up winning the game because Coach Moore said, hey, we couldn't stop those guys. We could not stop them. We had to get the edge. That's what we had to do right here. We had to get the edge. It just didn't work out in our favor. We didn't get the penalty. So we tried the onside kick. Almost got it. Didn't get it. First play, boom, touchdown. That's it. And really, no, I will take it back. That's not it. We drive back down the field. We get close. And Keyshawn Williams, Jarrett, those guys, man, like, it's absolutely amazing, amazing game. I have no clue how many yardage the 3 of those guys had all night. They were gashing these guys. They could not stop them. This trio of Zach Wallace, Michael Tanner, and Keyshawn Williams, Jarrett, quite possibly may be the best trio wide receivers in the state right now. I truly believe that. We turn the ball over on downs. Okay, so defense goes back out there. I think it was like 2 plays later, another 60-yard run from Mr. Moore and his touchdown. And it's over, just like that. And so we lose a game that we were up 42-21. We lose 63-48. 42 points allowed in the second half. Quite possibly the most points I've ever seen us allow in the second half. It's the most points I've ever seen us give up in one game total. I went back and looked at all the games, and here's a graphic right here. This right here is all the games where Warren has given up 50 points or more. And as you see, that 65 or 63 point that we give up is the second most we've given up since 2000. All right. Just not what we want. Not what we want. It's tough. It's tough, man. It is really tough. You come so close. You come so close, and then this happens, and it's like, the momentum that we lost in this game. I hope this is a learning point for our team, our players, our coaching staff. This game right here. Because I truly feel like what we showed Friday night was the potential our team has for the future. Our team for the future moving forward can be very good. Very good. Very, very good. Like, when we get our guys going, we can be special. But we got to be better. Offensively, we were great. We got to take it up we got to take up another notch in the second half. That's 2 halves in a row where we've gotten, what is that? A grand total of 9 points. That's unacceptable. That's unacceptable. Coach Whitaker and his staff know that. That's not acceptable. Defensively, we had to be better in all phases of the game. We weren't giving great effort late. We weren't covering the ball well. We weren't chasing down plays. We were missing tackles on. Granted, like I said, I just went on this huge spiel about how fast he is and everything, but man, we still got to get him down. We still got to make a play. We still had to find a way to end the bleeding, stop the bleeding. We have to get off the field. Too many times on long yardage plays, they broke one, got a first down, kept the drive going, ended up getting 6. We can't allow that. We got to do better. And people are like, oh, see, I told you Warren's not no good. They can't beat anybody with the post. Oh, well, you know what? That's just one game, all right? Warren has lost to 2 teams in 2 years, Center Grove and Lawrence North. Everybody else, we've had their number. Now, we just got to continue to work on it, get better, take what we experienced this week, have that sour taste in your mouth, and hopefully we get a chance to get that get back. And this week against Carmel on the road once again, we'll have an opportunity. We're going to have an opportunity to go out there and really do something and, show what we're made of. Because right now, people see us and they're like, oh, that's Warren, they're a bunch of has-beens. Okay. All right. Hey, they say, oh, Ben Davis just got shut out by Carmel. Look, like I said, this is not a Ben Davis team of old. Ben Davis, 2 years removed from a state championship, they look closer to being on the level of North Central than being on the level of a state contender right now. Unfortunately, I hate saying that. Love Coach Man to death. It is not going good for him over there. I can't help him. It is what it is. What we need to do out here Friday night at Carmel, hostile environment, a place where we've only won twice since 2002. Twice. And that was, what was that? The 2012 sectional opener. A huge upset. Huge upset. One of the biggest opening round playoff upsets Warren has probably ever had. By far. And then 2017. So we've not won over there since 2017. Only went over there twice in the last 20 years. We have to do something, and that is prove people wrong. We're still in the middle of the gauntlet. We didn't pass the first test. We did not pass the first test, and this gauntlet right now is only getting tougher. Carmel out there right now is playing like the best team in 6A. We have Cathedral next week at home. They just beat Center Grove. They beat Center Grove again. Beat Center Grove again. They beat them last year. We've not beaten Center Grove since 2019. They beat them twice in 2 years. This is something we have to be better at. We must be better at. Like I said, this is the gauntlet. The toughest stretch for any team in 6A is us right here. We're 0-1. Let's get to 1-1 right now. Or 1-2, I should say. 1 out of 2. Not 1-2. 1-1. Yeah, I was right the first time. Yeah, let's get to 1-1. All right? So, that being said, some guys doing some great things at the next level. I'm not going to play the whole graphic, but shout out to my guy, Elijah Slybeck, Ray Guy Award watch list right now for the top punter in all college football. Just named the ACC Special Teams Player of the Week. I mean, look at this punt right here he had against, Louisville. And their huge win against Louisville once again. Virginia's ranked in top 25. Shout to Hoos. My Hokies are just struggling right now. They may lose the Commonwealth Cup at the end of the year. But hey, Elijah, you're doing great. Keep it up, man. Keep it up. I'm just so very proud of you. You're doing great. That's what we love to see. That is what we love to see right there. I'm trying to think here. Is there anything else I want to say? Oh, True Warrior Football Top 100. I got the final 2 episodes coming out this week. Stay tuned. Hopefully by the time this episode comes out, part 4 has already been dropped. Part 5 should be dropping either later today or tomorrow. But hey, that's all I got for you folks right there. I'm your host, Corey the Kid Smith. You just watched another great episode of True Warrior Football. And as always, Warrior Band, take us away.